Today's video is on the types of the variables, and this topic is from descriptive statistics, and this is related to probability and statistics. So here are the types of the variables. One is quantitative variable and the next one is qualitative variable. Coming to quantitative variable always deals with the numerals, and so it is called as a numerical variable. And qualitative variables always depends upon the quality or the categories or the classifications, and it is also known as categorical variable. So here it depends upon the quantity and it depends upon the quality. Quantitative variables are those you can put numbers on them. So all the time you have to measure with the numbers. Qualitative variables deals with the category. So it's a classification. So it deals with the numbers and it deals with the categories. So for example, quantitative variables always be the examples on the numbers, that is the weight of the students, height of the students, the age of the students, example. So these are all the things which are dealing with the numbers, numerals. And here coming to qualitative variables always depends upon the classification. See here, color. So if you guess the color of an eye, so it may be black, gray or brown. And the gender, it may be the classification whether it's a male or a female. So the classification is always deals with the qualitative variable, and depending upon the numbers we deal with the quantitative variables. So you got an idea. The first type of variables are quantitative and qualitative. Quantity always needs a numerals and quality always needs a classification among the categories, and therefore this is the first type, quantitative variables and qualitative variables. Further, this type is subdivided into, see here, quantitative variables, numeral variables, and qualitative variables, categorical variables are further classified as. Quantitative variables are further classified as continuous variables and discrete variables. And here, categorical variables are classified as nominal variables, dichotomous variables, ordinal variables. So these are all the types of the variables from the qualitative variables. See here, and further the continuous variables are further classified as interval variables and ratio variables. I'll be explaining each and every variable here, and you will be getting a crystal clear clarity on the quantitative and qualitative variables and their subtypes, and each subtypes is clearly explained. First, coming to discrete variables and continuous variables, I'll be explaining. See here, what is a discrete variable and what is a continuous variable. Discrete variables takes the fixed finite values in a specific range. So it is going to get a fixed value. So whereas in the continuous variable takes any value in the specified range. So it can take any value between the specified range, and it is going to take only the fixed finite value. Example, I'll show you. It is generally counted and it is generally measured. So it is represented by the bar graph or a pie chart, and it is represented by a histogram or scattered plot. For example, let me tell you, so this is the discrete variable. The students in the classroom is 50. So it is a fixed quantity from a specific range from 1 to 100. 50 is a fixed finite value here. So the students in the class can't be 50.5. So the number cannot be broken into the smaller parts. So here in the discrete variables, the number cannot be broken into the smaller parts. Whereas in the continuous variables, so it can take any specific value from the specified range. The weight of the students is 65.5 kgs. So here 0.5 is also taken as a consideration. Here the height of the students is 156.5 centimeters, and the number can be broken into smaller parts. Here you got an idea about the discrete values and the continuous variables, discrete variables and continuous variables. So discrete variables always takes a fixed finite values in the specified range, and next one, continuous variables, takes any value in the specified range. So it is generally counted. So the number of the students is counted here. The age is also counted. So it is generally measured. So it is represented by the bar or a pie graph, or it is represented by the histogram or a scattered plot. Example is also have shown here. It is very clear. In the discrete variables, the numbers cannot be broken into smaller parts, whereas in the continuous, for the continuous variables, the number can be broken into smaller parts. See here, see, you got a clarity on this. See here, the quantitative, so depending upon the numerals, it is classified as continuous and discrete. So discrete has a fixed finite value from a specific range, and it can take any value from the specified range. And these two you got an idea, I have shown you. And the next one here, I am going to explain about the nominal, ordinal, dichotomous variables. And now I am going to explain from the textbook itself. See here, nominal variables. So generally nominal variables are from the qualitative variables. Qualitative variables means, so depending upon the quality, depending upon the category classification, there won't be any numerals here, so they will be only the classification among the categories. See, categorical variables, these are the subtypes. See here, nominal, ordinal and dichotomous are the subtypes from the qualitative variable. See, let me explain you. This is the nominal variable from the descriptive statistics textbook. Here, nominal variables are the variables that have two or more categories but which do not have any intrinsic order. See here, nominal variables doesn't follow any order here. For example, a real estate agent can classify the types of the properties into distinct categories such as houses, condos, co-ops or bungalows. So here there are four types here. The first one is houses, condos, co-ops and bungalows. There are four categories while selecting a property here. So the type of the property is nominal variable with four categories called houses, condos, co-ops and bungalows. Of note, the different categories of the nominal variables can also be referred to as a group or a level of a nominal variable. Another example here. So among these four, we can select any one while choosing the property. So these four are the nominal variables. So the variables here, the categories here are classifications of four here. And the next example here is, another example of a nominal variable would be classifying where the people live in the USA by state. See here, the people live in USA in a state, USA by state. In this case, there will be more level of nominal variables. 50, in fact, there are 50 places, around 50 variables. So in order to live in USA, there are 50 options, there are 50 variables, and therefore these are all the nominal variables. Nominal variables here are four. So there are two or more categories in the nominal variables. Here there are 50 variables to live in the USA. So these are all the variables here. So this is about the nominal variable. Next one is dichotomous variable. So coming to dichotomous variable, it is also a nominal variable which have only two categories. So there are only two options or the levels. For example, if you are looking at a gender, you would most probably categorize somebody as either male or female. So there are only two variables, there are only two classifications, there are only two categories among which we have to select one. Next one, this is an example. So this is an example of the dichotomous variable and also a nominal variable. This is also a nominal variable, whereas it is having only two classifications or two categories or two variables, and here there are more than two. Here there are four variables, here there are 50 variables in the nominal variables. If they are strictly two, we can call it as a dichotomous variable. So another example might be, if we asked a person if they owned a mobile phone, here we may categorize the mobile phone ownership as either yes or no. So there are two classifications whether they're yes or no. In a real estate agent example, if type of the property has been classified as either residential or commercial, then the type of the property would be dichotomous variable. See here, dichotomous variable is also having the categories or classifications between only two. See here, whether male or female, either yes or no, either residential or commercial. So these are only two classifications. If there are only two categories or classifications, then we say it is a dichotomous variable. If they are more than two, we call as a nominal variable. So coming to ordinal variable. So what is this ordinal variable? Order. If it maintains an order, so it will be an ordinal variable. Ordinal variables are the variables that have two or more categories, just like nominal variables. Only the categories can also be ordered or ranked. Here the order is maintained and rank is also maintained. So if you ask someone if they liked the policies of the Democratic Party, and they would answer either not very much. See here, this is not very much, they are okay, yes a lot, then you have an ordinal variable. So here for ordinal variable, there are three options here, three classifications as normal variable, as not very much, okay, yes a lot. So here then we have an ordinal variable. So why we say that this is an ordinal variable? Because you have three categories, namely not very much. See here, this is not very much, okay, S a lot, and you can rank them from the most positive answer here is S a lot, to a middle response is okay, and to the least positive is not very much. So here they are maintaining the order or the rank. So here if they maintain the order among the variables, then we say that it is an ordinal variable, and this is same as the nominal variable, whereas in this we maintain an order, whereas in these we don't maintain a rank or an order. However, whilst we can rank the levels, we cannot place a value to them, and we cannot say they are okay is twice as positive as not very much. See here, this is very simple, that we are having so many categories among which we can select. If they are more than two or more categories which is not maintaining an order or a rank, it is a nominal variable. If there are only two classifications or two categories in which we have to opt or select, then it is dichotomous. And if it is ordinal variable, so among the categories, so we have a rank and an order is maintained, then we say that it is an ordinal variable. Clear? So here you got an idea on what is a nominal variable, what is an ordinal variable, and dichotomous variable. Here among all these, the quality variable, it is categorical variable. So here the classifications is seen here. So here there are so many classifications here, more than two or more variables are there, among which the rank and the order is not maintained, then it is a nominal variable. So dichotomous variable is also having the categories or the classifications among only two variables, categories or classifications. We have to opt any one of it, and therefore it is called as a dichotomous. And in the ordinal variable is same as the nominal variable, whereas the order and the rank is maintained. Among the classifications, it is called as an ordinal variable. So you got an idea on continuous variable, discrete variable, nominal variable, ordinal variable, and dichotomous variable. And next one, coming to interval variables and ratio variables. So these are the subtypes from the continuous variables, and subtypes is from the quantitative variables. Quantitative variables always deals with the numerical values. See here, these are all the subtypes here. Quantitative variables, continuous and discrete, interval and ratio. So I am going to explain these two from the textbook itself. So here, continuous variables are also known as quantitative variables. Continuous variables can be further categorized as either interval or the ratio variables. Here, the interval variables are the variables for which their central characteristics is that they can be measured among the continuum and they have the numerical value. For example, the temperature measured in the degrees Celsius or the Fahrenheit. So the difference between the 20 degrees and 30 degrees is same as the 30 degrees and the 40 degrees. However, the temperature measured in degrees Celsius or the Fahrenheit is not a ratio variable. The next one, ratio variables are the interval variables, but with the added condition that the zero of the measurement indicates that there is none of that variable. So the temperature measured in the degrees Celsius or the Fahrenheit is not a ratio variable, because 0 degrees does not mean in the degrees Celsius or the Fahrenheit is not the ratio variable, because 0 degrees doesn't mean there is no temperature. However, the temperature measured in the kelvins is a ratio variable as 0 kelvins, often called as zero, absolute zero, indicates that there is no temperatures whatsoever. Other examples of the ratio variables includes heights, mass, distance, and many more. The name ratio reflects the fact that you can use the ratio of measurements. So, for example, a distance of 10 meters is twice the distance of the 5 meters. So this is about the ratio, and this is about the interval variables. So these are all deals with the numerals, and this is from the continuous variable, and this is a subtype of the quantitative variable. So here you got an idea on each and every variable here. So this is the description from the textbook. If you read line by line or page by page, and you can understand more. And these are all the types of the variables. I have explained you what is a quantitative variable, it deals with the numerals, and what is a qualitative variables, it deals with the classifications. And there is a subtype that the quantitative variable deals with the continuous variables and discrete variables. And here there is even subtype of the continuous variables as interval variables and the ratio variables. And here The qualitative variables, the subtypes are the nominal variables, dichotomous variables, and ordinal variables. And each and every variable I have given you a description. Thank you so much for watching. If you really like, and if you really understand, if you are really satisfied, please pass it on to as many friends as you can. That is the greatest help to this channel. Spread knowledge and support this channel. And thank you so much for watching and staying till the end. And if you go to the playlist, so many videos are uploaded for your preparation. Definitely it will be very, very helpful. Thank you so much. And my next video will be on the data visualization, and that is also the most important topic. Thank you so much.